Good morning, everyone. I'm Joel, and I'd like to welcome you to another grainy film adventure. It's a summer morning here in Texas. It's already starting to get pretty hot, but I brought us up to Lake Livingston State Park up Interstate 69, about an hour north of Houston, Texas, so we can shoot a little video, have a little bit of fun, and go on an adventure together. After I shot the last video at the Bayou Bend collection at the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, I decided it would be fun to check out Houston Camera Exchange and see if they had anything like old vintage cameras, old lenses, or any interesting film I could pick up while I was there. Much to my surprise, they had a film stock I've never seen before, I've never heard of before, and when I went on YouTube to look for a video on this particular film stock, there was one short but no standard videos, and the short didn't really cover anything on the film. It just kind of showed the box and showed a few example photos. So I thought what we would do is take a look at this new film stock together, go out on a little adventure here at the park, shoot some photos in direct daylight in the middle of the day, shoot some photos in the evening, shoot some nighttime shots, maybe shoot some interior shots, and just see what we think this film stock is and how it holds up, and if we want to try it again in the future. So without further ado, here it is. This is Vandal Tungsten. It is a 400T film. It is rated at 400 ASA. And it has 36 exposures. They have some pretty cool artwork on the box here and some information about the film, but not a whole lot. So let's see what it says. On the front of the box, it says rimjet removal, or rimjet pre-moval, unique halation effect, safe to process in standard C41. And then on the side, it says we reuse film canisters because we love the environment. What do I think this film is? I'm gonna go ahead and guess up front that this is probably 500T that has been, had the rimjet layer removed and been marketed as a 400 speed film. So let's load it in the camera and we'll take it out and see. All right, we're gonna be loading this film into my Minolta X700 silver body. This is a Japanese-made camera. I imported it last year to replace a Minolta X700 black body that had a lot of shutter drag. It's a great camera. It has a wonderful shutter sound. Here's what 1/25th of a second sounds like. And then let's do 1,000th of a second. Pretty cool. I love the way this camera sounds. If you would like to see a video focusing on this X700 and its features, let me know. But for now, we're gonna rate this film at 400 ISO like the box says, and we're gonna shoot it with and without a filter. The technical data sheet for Kodak 200T Vision 3 and 500T Vision 3, it recommends an 85 warming filter. We have the Tiffin 85 warming filter in 49mm. We're gonna be shooting that on the Minolta f1.7 50mm lens here. I'm not used to loading this camera upside down, but I'm trying to get where y'all can see it. It is really hard to load a camera when you're trying to show that to somebody. That should be good. All right, we have it rated at ISO 400. I've got my exposure compensation set to 0. We're gonna stick to manual so it doesn't change shutter speeds between shots if we're trying to compare the film both with and without the filter. All right, we got our film loaded up and we're ready to go out and shoot. So let's go see what kind of pictures we can get on Vandal 400T. Okay, I am at somewhat of a loss of words because there has been a development that I need to share with you. I spent 3 days shooting this video at multiple locations, and each day I came home and did the editing of my B-roll and the editing of the footage I had shot, and I had the entire video ready to go, except for developing the photos, scanning them in, inserting them into the timeline, throwing in a little music, and publishing the video. So we were just about done. I was ready to publish the video a few nights ago. The negatives, the film base is a weird yellow color. My scanning software has no idea what to do with the colors. When I take raw negative scans and put those into conversion software like NegPi, it doesn't know what to do with them. And it takes about 30 minutes per photo to go in and manually edit all of the colors to get a somewhat usable image. And I'm not gonna spend 15 hours editing a video and misrepresent what this film looks like. I would not buy this film again. I just quit for the day, put the negatives away, and slept on it. And the next day I decided that I needed to troubleshoot. There's only 3 things that could be wrong. It could be the camera, it could be the development process, or it could be the film. I know it's not this camera, okay? But I'm still gonna test it. I'm pretty sure it's not the development process, but I'm gonna test it, and that leaves the film. So I decided my best option was to go out and buy a new roll of Fuji Color 200, and I put it in my bulk roller, and I loaded a roll of 5 shots of that Fuji 200 and threw it in the Minolta. I put a color chart outside next to some marigolds, and I took 3 shots. So I'm gonna put those in here now. The Color 200 came out perfect. I emailed Dave at FlicFilm, who makes the 3-bath kit I was using, and this was a brand new bath I mixed up just for this 400T. He told me that what he thinks happened is, and they see this in their lab, is we obviously know this is probably respooled Kodak 500T, and it was mishandled or it was extremely expired. So I think our best bet is I'm gonna go ahead and try to recreate this video and try to shoot these shots in similar conditions at the same spots. So when you hear me in the video say FA at 1/125th of a second, that is not the case. I'm shooting these in different lighting, probably at different times of day in different conditions, but at the same location. So we're back out in the field. We're gonna try to recreate these shots. We'll do our best to make the video, to kind of salvage this video. Okay, it is the day this video is set to premiere, and I'm still doing some editing. When I went back out to reshoot the entire roll of film for this video, I decided to use StreetSavvy by Street Candy. So this is Street Candy StreetSavvy. It's a 400 speed film. I love it. It comes straight out of the scanner looking fantastic. I don't have to do any color grading or editing really at all, and all the images just looked really, really good. I have shot plenty of respooled motion picture film before. I've got some Cinestill 400D and 800T up here. They come out of the scanner fine. The Vandal 400T just took too much work. The color base on it is super weird, sickly yellow color. So again, I just cannot recommend this film stock at all. But let's go ahead and move on to our adventure. Let's see if we can get a shot of the pier. There's a guy wearing a bright orange shirt, and there's some Spanish moss hanging in the foreground along with this picnic table. It is 5100 Kelvin, 5000 Kelvin out in the sun. F8 is 1,000th of a second, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, we're gonna try to get a shot real quick before the guy mowing the grass here at the state park comes back. We are gonna use 1/500th of a second. This is 5800 to 6000 Kelvin, so I have the 85 warming filter on. We're gonna take the same shot with and without the warming filter. Okay, we got our first shot with the 85 warming filter. We're gonna get another shot without the warming filter. I went from halfway between f5.6 and f8 up to f8. So that's about a half a stop of light. We need 2/3, so this should be pretty close. There we go. Let's go to a different part of the park where they're not mowing the grass, so we're out of their way. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm thinking about like a vertical here to let the trail guide your eyes down the path there and lead you into the woods. Because we've got dark and light in this scene, if we meter for the light, it's 1/250th of a second at f8, and the dark is 1/60th of a second at f8. So we're gonna split that difference and go with 1/125th of a second at f8. And we're shooting this one with the 85 warming filter on there. Okay, now we're gonna take the warming filter off. So this time I think I'll do it without it making any adjustments. Just keep it at 1/125th of a second at f8. All right. Okay, we've taken about 9 exposures on this roll of film so far. There was 2 shots I took when I didn't have the video camera running. I used my 200 millimeter, my 75 to 200 millimeter zoom, and zoomed all the way in on an egret and a heron that were hanging out by the lake. One of those was an action shot with the bird in flight, and the other, the bird was sitting still. So we'll see how this film handles details. So I decided that we would come down underneath the Interstate 69 bridge here, where it crosses the Trinity River, and we'll get some sunrise photos. There's probably a lot of fog on the river right now, so that might look kind of cool too. And then the abandoned liquor store is like a block down the road. So we'll hit both of them up this morning and kind of see if we can get some more shots with this Vandal 400T. All right, I've got the 28 millimeter lens on right now. I think the 28 mil is gonna be nice for these big panoramic shots. The river looks really cool with the fog rolling across it, and then we've got the sunrise with some reflections, and if I keep talking, I'm gonna miss most of it, so let's go ahead and move over here real quick. And this is kind of the scene we're looking at here. So I think I'll frame up a shot. Man, it's still pretty, not a lot of light out this morning. Okay, I'm waiting for my lens to unfog right now. I'm using the Minolta 28 millimeter MD Rockor. It is a f2.8. Okay, I think my lens has unfogged now. Yeah, it has, okay. We're gonna get a shot here. All right, so this is like half sky, half river. The river is 1/25th, the sky is 500th. We're gonna go with 250th of a second at f2.8. And we're gonna take another one at 1/25th of a second to bracket that, just one shot, just to make sure we have enough light. And then I'm gonna wander around and we'll see what kind of shots we can get. Hey, look. Oh, sweet. It's a Lego leaf. Let's take a picture of this train going by. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, we barely caught that, didn't we? Okay, well, I guess since we ran over here, you might as well go down this little path and get a few pictures here. Oh, wow. You can see like the rays of sun cutting through the fog over there. Okay, I didn't really think this through. It's hard to take a picture with this camera strapped to my backpack. Okay, so it's pretty bright over here. I have to go up to f5.6 to drop this to 1/500th. And f4 is 1,000. So we're gonna try f4 first. That was f4 at 1/1000th. And then we do have some fog or mist kind of on the river here. So let's see if we can get a shot from here. We're gonna go f4, 1/250th. I think I'm gonna go ahead and climb up on this bridge pylon here. Piling, not pylon. There we go. So that's pretty cool. Let's go down here real quick. Oh, that's a cool view. Look at that. All right, let's get a shot here. Okay, this shot at f8 is 1/125th, so we're gonna go with that. I really do like this view. I think I'm gonna go ahead and try this shot here with the 50 mil as well. We are showing 1/250th at f5.6. f4 is 1/500th. We're gonna go with f8 at 1/125th. Had a couple fish move there, which is really cool. We're starting to get some different light. Let's do another shot here of the fog. We're at 1/125th at f8 again. There we go. All right, we've taken 20 shots so far. So we're gonna climb down. We're gonna go ahead and climb back down there. I think I'm gonna take my backpack off for this just to make it a little safer and I don't end up dropping my camera. Probably smart to take the lens out of my pocket first, huh? I do think that's a pretty cool shot of the bridge with like the morning light on it. So let's get a shot here. All right, this is f8 at 1/250th. Got it. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of a cool shot, huh? All right, we're gonna get a shot of this vertical. We're gonna have to really open that aperture up to f4, and that's about a 1/25th of a second here. Yeah, I think we can head over to the liquor store now before the light changes. The light looks really pretty. It'll look cool on the front of the building. All right, we made it to the abandoned liquor store. I put on the 28mm lens because we're gonna be going indoors and I need as wide an angle view as I can get. We've got some pretty light on the front of the building right now, but there is a tree blocking some of the light. So it should get better here in a few minutes when the sun gets above that tree. There's also an abandoned house next door, so we'll go check it out too. But let's head on inside. These windows weren't broken last time I was here about a month ago. Okay, it's pretty dark in here, so I'm gonna have to like do shots through the windows outside for now. It's like a quarter of a second for some of the shots inside this building, so we'll see what we can get. But I'm gonna spin the camera around and I'm gonna get a shot through this window right here. So we'll try to frame up something cool out that window and see if we can't get a shot of like a truck passing by or a cow or something. If I do F8, I can get away with the 60th of a second, so we're gonna try that. Got it. Let's see what else is bright enough in here to get shots of. Maybe we can get a shot through the front door with these bars. Man, there was glass all over this door. Like I swear not even a month ago. It's 250th of a second at f5.6, so we're gonna go with that. All right, I'm gonna get a sip of coffee and then we'll go check out that abandoned house next door. Maybe it'll have more light. The lighting's a lot better out here. This is f9 at 1/125th. That puts us up to 25 shots so far. You can't even see this place from the road anymore, but this is a really cool little old A-frame house. Okay, the lighting's definitely better in here. A month ago, those windows were not broken in and the air conditioner wasn't ripped out. So it looks like someone's been in here scrapping and breaking, which is unfortunate because this was a cool little place. But let's see if we can get a couple shots here real quick. I'm thinking maybe a shot like low, looking up this staircase where you can see those windows too. So something like this. Okay, as wide open as I can get, we are looking at like a 30th of a second. So we're just gonna give it a shot and see what happens. And that drops us even lower. I'm not liking this. All right, I'll tell you what, we're gonna get a shot of the light through this window. f5.6 at 1/125th. Got it. It's not a great shot, but it's a shot. Let's head back to the truck. Down this staircase, which is super safe. And that's all poison ivy. Meanwhile, there is an osprey in that tree right there. So that might be a cool shot. And we'll change to the 75 to 200 real quick and see if we can get a shot of this bird. It's probably already gone. That's usually my luck. No, it's still there. F8 at 1/1000th. Got it. Okay, bird. And we'll go turn around and see if we can get a picture of these people's house. Okay, I came over here to shoot this really cute caboose in town, but I noticed there's an old train depot that someone converted into a house, and they even have like some old train cars and signs relating to the old train depot here. So I thought this would be cool. Let me show you. Okay, so you have this cute little house, and then behind it are some old train cars. And then over in the shade across the street is an old caboose. And we're right next to the railroad track, so I think this is the original train depot here in town. But we'll get a shot of that real quick. Oh, I forgot to record the last thing. I took a shot of a house with and without the warming filter. But now we're over at the caboose. Let me show you the caboose. Okay, so we made it over to this little caboose, and I've got the 50 mil on there. Let's go ahead and shoot this both with and without the 85 warming filter and see what this looks like. Okay, this is with the warming filter. So we're gonna go with F8 at 1/250th. Now we'll take the warming filter off and we'll do that same shot. This went up to 1/500th of a second, so we're already added a stop of light just by taking that filter off. So we'll go ahead and go with 1/500th at F8. All right, let's go see what it looks like inside. Maybe there's some cool shots inside there. Was I even in camera for that? Could use a little cleaning up, huh? There's even a toilet in here. That's crazy. Operating employees are prohibited under all conditions from occupying the roof of this caboose. There's a cool little shot through this window. Let's get that, because that's that little train depot right there. F5.6 at 1/250th without the warming filter. We're gonna take two shots, one focused on the old train depot. I wish they didn't have a car parked right in front of it. I didn't take that straight on because I could kind of obscure the car with a leaf. Now we're gonna focus on the foreground elements on the caboose and let the background be out of focus. And that was f5.6 at, I put it on aperture priority, so it went between 1/25th and 250th, because it'll automatically produce a shutter speed anywhere in the middle, wherever it needs to. That could be like a neat little shot. F4, aperture priority between 250th and 500th. No warming filter on that one. That's shot 35, so we're getting close here, folks. We're getting close. And I didn't get any shots at nighttime like I wanted to of like a lit up gas station or something to see what the halation looks like. So I can usually get like 38 shots out of a roll, but since this is hand rolled, I'm not sure. We're gonna take one picture of the train station across the street, and then we're gonna try to see if there's any shots left tonight. I'll go out and see if I can get a shot of like the Shell station or something lit up at nighttime. So let's see what happens. But meanwhile, I gotta climb down from here. All right. See, there's a cool old, I'm sure that's the old train station, and then someone bought it and converted it into a house. So we'll get a couple shots of that real quick. Actually, we'll do one shot because again, I don't know how many pictures I have left. All right, I'm gonna go with the warming filter on this because this is just bright, bright, bright sunlight. F8 at 1/500th. Okay, that shows us at shot 36, so we're gonna stop there and hopefully we can get a couple of shots tonight of a gas station or something like that lit up and see how that, how the tungsten halation effects look at nighttime. So I will see you in a few hours. I think the more gray hairs I get, the earlier I go to bed. So I did not get a chance to shoot photos of this film stock at nighttime, but I am at the local gas station right now, and we are going to take some shots of the gas station lit up here at nighttime and see how this film looks. We all know it's gonna have halation to it since it says that the rim jet was pre-moved, but we'll see what this looks like. Then we'll head back to the house, throw this film into a developing tank and see what we get. Okay, we have the 50 mil back on here. Let's open it all the way up. That's showing a 60th of a second. So we're gonna go 1/60th of a second at f1.7. I wanna try to get those like freeway lights in the distance too. There we go. Oh, we have another shot. So let's do this. So with the 28 millimeter, I can get the ground all the way up to the moon, including that sunrise. So let's see if we can do that. That's at 1/30th of a second. We're gonna give it a shot. Let's just be as steady as we can. I'm gonna head back to the house and develop this in a full 3-bath C41 chemical process. I'm gonna use the FlicFilm kit this time, but we'll see you back at the scanner here in a few minutes. All right, the Vandal 400 tungsten just came out of the developing tank. I will say that the FlicFilm 3-bath process was awesome. I really enjoyed that. I shot a video on mixing those chemicals and the entire process of using that 3-bath kit. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, shoot it over to a friend so you can see that. I hope to get that posted next week. And in the meantime, the mystery has been solved. We do have pictures. It says Eastman 5219 on the edge of the film. So this is indeed Kodak Vision 3 500 tungsten. So the mystery has been solved, but thank you guys for joining me. I hope you had a good time exploring some abandoned buildings, checking out the state park, and seeing this new film. I do have another surprise for you. If you stuck around this long, you get to see what the next video is. Next video, we're gonna feature bulk rolling Kodak Vision 200T, and we're gonna mix up our own ECN2 chemicals from Bulk Chemicals, costing us only 50 cents a roll to develop this film. And this film cost me about $7 a roll to bulk load. So make sure to subscribe, check us out next week, and until then, you guys have a great day. All right, here are some bonus photos from the roll of StreetSavvy 400 that did not make it into the video. I would not purchase Vandal 400T again. I would get something like Cinesto 400D or 800T, or just bulk roll some 500T yourself. You'll get better results straight out of scan without a lot of editing. And even though I was able to make some of these look good, it took a lot of time and work, and it's just not worth it, especially considering the price. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next week.